Something terrible was going to happen to me, something horrendous and unstoppable. I was small and powerless and couldn't do anything about it. And it would hurt. Beyond words. I knew this with complete certainty, because, I realized, whatever it was, it had happened to me before. Now I dreaded it more than anything, even death. I felt frozen, just blank with fear and powerlessness. As I began to wake up, I thought my body had been paralyzed. I tried to scream, tried to move my arms, legs, fingers, toes, but nothing worked. Not a sound seemed to come from my mouth, and my limbs wouldn't move. I knew the pain would take over soon. I was unable to protect myself. Every single part of me was electrified by terror and apprehension. I jumped. Jody had snapped me out of it, and now I saw her and realized where I was. My heart was still speeding, but it began to slow. I didn't know, or really I didn't want to know, what had just terrorized me. I'd been having similar nightmares for months. They seemed so real. I didn't want to think about why. I did know that my brother Klain had been raped by Warren at Alta Academy when he was about 5 years old. That made me flash on an image of Klain's body after he'd shot himself, another thing I was trying to forget. It had been more than a year now, but I still felt like it had just happened, and I still didn't want to believe it was true. Asleep, I sometimes managed to forget my grief. Now I was beginning to think that the abuse that had driven my oldest brother to suicide was something I'd have to confront as well. I started thinking back to what had happened when I'd left the church, and how I'd gotten to the point that I'd had to leave. I thought of my life as a lost boy. That's what the media came to call the hundreds of young men like me who had been forced out of the church to provide more young women for Warren and his followers. I thought about how that life had affected my brothers. And as I sifted through my memories, my life came to me in bits and pieces, often disconnected, just like my dreams. Even normal memory has gaps, but traumatic memory is even more discontinuous. This is my story, which put me back together. Part 1. Before. Chapter 1. Heaven or Hell. Every child believes he's special. But when you are number 10 of 20, with 3 sister mothers, 2 of whom are full-blooded sisters, and a grandfather whom thousands of people believe speaks directly to God, it can be hard to figure out what special really means. All told, I have roughly 65 aunts and uncles on my dad's side and 22 on my mom's, with probably thousands of cousins. In families as large as mine, even keeping track of your own siblings, let alone cousins and aunts and uncles, is difficult. As a grandson of Brent Jeffs and nephew of Warren Jeffs, it once seemed that I was destined for high honor in the FLDS. My family had what our church called royal blood. We were direct descendants of our prophet through my father's line. My mother, too, is the child of a prophet, who split from our group in 1978 to lead his own polygamous sect. When I was little, my family was favored in the church's elite. I was assured that there was a place for me in the highest realms of heaven, and at least 3 wives for me right here on earth, once I attained the Melchizedek priesthood. I was in a chosen family and a chosen people, visiting sacred land near end times. I would one day become a god, ruling over my own spinning world. So why would I ever abandon such status and rank? In the world of the FLDS, things are not always what they seem. The shiny, smiling surfaces often hide a world of rot and pain. And even royal blood and being born male can't protect you from sudden changes in its convoluted power structure.